Welcome, Monica. Welcome, Reema. We're very excited by the Archies because you saw there how many people have also read the books. They're so wildly popular. It's releasing in December on Netflix, Monica. December is when you see your big ticket, big bang releases. Is this going to be one of the biggest shows we've ever seen on Netflix India?
I don't think I can say one of the biggest. It will be the biggest. So that's how, yes, that's been a promise for a long time. And we've been collaborating on Archies. It's been getting incubated for a long time. Zoya's not here today, but Reema and Zoya have been at it for a long time. Our teams have been. So I'm really excited to bring this really, really big movie bang in the holiday season so everyone can have fun. And we have the lovely cast here who I'm sure everyone's waiting to speak to them and not us.
No, no, we'll get there. I know they want to know how this came about. Where did it start? Where did this germ of an idea really start from? Did it start with Reema and Zoya approaching you, or was it Netflix India's idea?
It's a slightly sort of complex beginning. The origin story of Archie's at Netflix started in the US office when Sharad from Graphic India from the US office had approached. He had brought the IP and he wanted to do something on Netflix with the IP. They wanted Archie's to be made on Netflix. And at the same time, he had approached Zoya also to, sort of be a part of that journey. And what was decided is that Archie's as an IP would be a great one to adapt in India. And I think what Zoya and Reema then set about doing, the way it's been a journey. It's been, I think, nearly like a 3.5 year journey from the time of getting the format rights and really John and Sharath at Graphic India have been great partners also, and there are just so many people at Netflix and of course at the core team at Tiger Baby. It's just been a very collaborative and delightful journey, and now I think we are just every day I cross the airport where we have that billboard which is counting down. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw 64 today.
All right. Reema, what's it been like, this creative partnership with Netflix India and bringing alive the Archies? Can I refer to it as the Desi Archies?
You could. It is the first Archie's movie, and Zoe and I, being Archie's fans, I mean, both of us grew up reading Archie's. That was really, really exciting for us to take something that we've loved in our childhood and reimagine it and do it, out of India. Uh, when Zoya first said, uh, you know, she's been contacted by Netflix and this is something they want us to do, I was like, okay, but how do we do this? Because it's a completely American IP. But I think once we started working, we surprised ourselves. And once we found the community that we were going to base it in, and when we started working out the nitty-gritties, it was a real fun ride, actually.
So
Yeah.
you're known for your brand of filmmaking, which also involves a lot of rigorous research. From the teaser that we've seen so far of the Archies, it's based in the 1960s India.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that particular time period, and how do you really make a story like the Archies come alive in that era?
Uh, it is a comic book at the end of the day. And the film therefore the film is deriving from fantasy. Our efforts were more to situate these people who are primary American characters in an Indian setting, So yeah, you may not find that much real parallels, of what was going on in 1960s India to what is going on in our Riverdale. In that sense, Archie's for us, it's universal and it's timeless. And what we were trying to do was create a Riverdale in India and make it real.
Sounds extremely interesting, but I think the focus is also on youth and bringing forward their issues. Monica, for Netflix India, and I'm thinking of a few examples here. You look at Kota Factory, you look at Class, now the Archies. Is that a specific stream that you're now focusing on, reaching out to young audiences, to youngsters, catering to their needs?
You know, globally, Netflix and the stories on Netflix have really been powered by a lot of young audiences watching all formats, of stories, whether it's scripted series, the binge watch became so popular, the whole reinvention of the documentary format, the films that we started doing globally also a couple of years ago. So I think for Netflix India particularly, we have a very, very broad base of audience, and YA category is actually by itself such an exciting space to explore. The kind of stories that you can do. So like you rightly said, Quota Factory, Class, which talks about the, social divide through the lens of youth, or Mismatched, and Archies particularly now, and, looking at what Archies has become, like Reema rightly said, initially they thought that this is so American. How will it ever get made into an Indian story? I cannot tell you guys what an amazing job, they've done. The whole team, the creative powerhouse that they are, they have really taken such a loved comic book with all these, like Reema said, timeless characters, and just taken that whole story of fun, friendship, a gang, something that all of us have grown with and can identify. If you're a generation that, is the parents' generation, or, sort of YA category, or people of today, or kids, you will resonate with this story because it's just so happy, positive. It feels like your own because you've seen that, you've experienced that, or you are experiencing that. So I think just taking that space and the freshness that, a young adult category brings you in terms of storytelling themes, and the story of change that they've told through Archies. I think that will be a surprise for everyone. And I really feel that that'll be quite a gift for people to watch, in a sort of co-viewing setting, whether as friends or family.
The young adult demographic, Reema, is something that we haven't covered or explored enough in cinema. Now, there are a lot of challenges that today's youth face. How do you kind of weave that and blend that into a 1960s India, the Archie story?
Well, how we've done it, I mean, that's not something for me to say. That's, you'll have to watch and tell us. What do you think of it? But in that sense, I think Archie's made Zoya and me both sort of broaden our horizon, because typically our work has always been targeted at 16 and above. But Archie, we really, because we love Archies, we really wanted to be true to the audience of Archie, and that is from age 8 to 80. So I think for the first time in our career, we were actually focusing on that age group.
But
And normally when I write, I'm only thinking of what I think about it or what Zoya thinks about it. But this time I very, very consciously had my niece, my nephew, my friends' kids in mind when I was writing.
But what do you think really makes the Archies relevant even today? You saw among the audience, cutting across age groups, everyone's read the comics, and for some reason it relates to everyone.
There's something very, I don't know, it comes from a time when I think less was more, and there's innocence, it's about friendship, it's about community, it's, you know, these are things that are universal. Anybody, anywhere in the world can connect to themes like this. And I think that's what the original, the power of the original IP is that. So, yeah, the pressure's intense.
But Monica, I'm sure you feel a little better. Pressure may be intense. You feel a little better having Reema, Zoya Akhtar, Ayesha, Shankar Ehsaan Loy, so many big names attached to this one project.
Yeah, I think the wonderful thing about Archie's as the film is that so many amazing people came together on all sides to make it. I mean, the wonderful cast, the directors, the writers, the whole team at Tiger Baby, the team at Netflix, and the music of the film. Like, really, Archie's is about the whole world that has been created, where it's shot. It was putting together of this entire world where these characters live, and you as an audience are going into that world and you really don't want to come out of that world. You know, it's that fun and emotionally engaging and universal. And I think the important thing here is that like a lot of people here have read the comic book, but for those who haven't, this film is not just for the people who've read the comic book. This film is absolutely universal. It touches upon themes that, somewhere resonate with all of us. And not just in India, all over the world. It is that perfect fun and family and friendship and community film. Like Reema said, it's about simpler times, but it's also relevant to today. If you look at the music, you know, it takes the music, it takes the setting of 60s, but it gives you the sound of today, which is so, fun to really enjoy. You have the choreography of those times, but you have the songs of today, the poetry of today. So it's a great mix, you know, and really like, like Archie sings and the whole band sings in it, that Hamari Kahani Suno. So it's literally these kids saying, Hamari Kahani Suno, and that's what the youths want to say. Please hear our stories, you know. We have a take, we have something to say, we have something to share. So that's what the film brings.
You know, I mentioned all the big stars. I didn't mention the Gen Next sitting here, who are the stars of the Archies. What did it take to bring all of them together? You know, what did you see in each of them that said that, you know, hey, these are the 7 that we need in the Archies?
I mean, I have to give it to each one of them. They went through several rounds of, I think, rigorous testing. Once they were selected, I mean, Zoya, I think, put them in boot camp. They did all kinds of training, apart from also, you know, just learning how to be with a camera. Things like eyeline, how to walk over a piece of track without tripping over it, I guess, in frame. They've been wonderful. And you'll see why each one just needed to be the character that they are. It's because nobody else could have done it. That's why.
Let me ask the controversial question here, Reema. Were they difficult?
No,
You can name and shame.
no, they weren't. And I hope they remain this way and don't get difficult after the first one.
I was just about to say that they
No,
should
they're a
remain
really
the
good
same.
bunch, and we've been really fortunate to have them.
Because it's not easy, you know, these are all new stars, very raw. As you said, you know, you've had to train them from scratch. And so obviously each of their methods, I'm sure, are very different. Each of their styles are very different. How do you bring that together and ensure that, you know, you put out a product where everything seems seamless and there's one message being sent across?
You put a very good director like Zoya in place. That's what you do.
You know, I'm going to ensure I ask them also about how tough a taskmaster you and Zoya were with them. But what are the memories that you'll take away with them, with the Archies, from the Archie set?
For me, I think it was the, on day one, I think only Aggie and Mihir were shooting. And everybody else was there early in the morning and they stayed the whole day. Even I left for lunch and they didn't. And it was just really sweet. I think the enthusiasm and the hard work, it's just tremendous. And I mean, you'll see, I know I keep saying that, but this is something to be seen. How much work these kids have put and what they've managed to create.
Day one to the last day on set, what was their growth like?
I think that it must have taken them, some time to kind of just find their, get in the skin. But once they did, each one has been, I think, pretty much from the beginning in the skin of the character, from very early on. And we've been watching rushes and each day makes us feel more and more inspired and motivated.
All right. Thank you very much, Monika and Reema, for
Thank
joining
you,
us here.
and thank you for having us.
No, so we'll now bring in the stars of the Archies. We're just going to give our team a few moments to set up because we also have a big surprise for the team. Welcome to the India Today Conclave, Agastya. Archie Andrews, we all know of him as, the proverbial boy next door, the Casanova who's kind of, stuck between Betty and Veronica, loves music. Am I defining Archie's character or Agastya's character?
Archie, I wouldn't call myself a Casanova. I think something that we did share in common was music. Archie loves music, and I think music has the ability to make you feel a lot of emotions, deal with a lot of emotions. So I think that's where we kind of were similar, but I'm definitely not any Casanova. But yeah.
Okay, let's hope it stays that way also, Agastya. Why did you choose the Archies for your debut? Why did you choose an OTT film and not a
Yeah.
big theatrical release?
I don't think you choose the Archies. It's Zoya who chose us, and I'm so grateful for that. And we auditioned for it, we got the part, and I think being on Netflix, it's such an exciting opportunity. You're streaming across 190 countries at once. It's different to what people usually do, but I find it so exciting. And I couldn't have asked for a better team of people to work with. These guys over here have become my best friends, and we hang actually a bit too much. And I think it's been a great experience.
Who's
And
your best friend?
all of them, they're sitting here. You can't ask me for but we
Have to put you a bit in the spot, right? Your
for
first
different things.
interview?
I would go to each person for different issue or different reasons. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you had a lot of people who've inspired you growing up as well. But who's your biggest role model, Agastya?
I mean, I would say my role model is my dadi, Ritu Nanda. She's no longer with us, but she's a person I've always aspired to be like. She just had this warmth about her. If you were around her, you'd feel like you could do anything. And I wish I could do that for the people around me. Just, give them that positivity and love.
That's beautiful. So, Agastya, when I found out I was going to do this session, I was quickly checking out everyone's Instagram profile, found that you didn't have one. You're part of the Gen Z, right? How is it that you don't have a social media profile?
Everybody asks me this, why are you not on social
I
media?
see a lot of hashtag Agastya Nanda because nobody can tag him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I know it's a bit, I'm just not good with Instagram personally, but never say never. I don't think that I'm going to shut off the idea of coming on Instagram. And plus I have my sister who's my greatest PR. She posts everything that I need, and my mom, and I'm sure they're watching this right now.
Do you have a secret profile that you're not telling us about?
Yeah, I do. But I do it so I can watch reels and, see what my friends are up to, so yeah.
All right,
Thank you
Agastya,
so much.
all
Thank
the
you,
very
thank
best to you.
Thank you, everybody.
Agastya Nanda for you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. She's so quirky, she's so eccentric. Is that why, you were also really happy to play her? Are you like that in real?
I think, I think I'm definitely an oddball. I don't think I was one of the cool ones growing up. And I think also the people who like Ethel from the Archies are some of the more offbeat kind of people. And
gave the right
I'm
intro.
happy to serve them because, I guess want to be.
But you're saying that you're a lot like Ethel, right? Does that make it
Yeah.
easier or harder to kind of play the character?
I think being quirky, yeah, sure, that makes it maybe easier. But I think it was a bit hard for me to, because I'm among the older side of our age, of our little group. And I think it was a little hard for me to maybe go back in time and reimagine myself as the dorky high school kid. So yeah.
You're someone who sings amazingly, and we'll get to that. I know that request is coming. You sing and you act. It's something that's very common in Hollywood, but not very seen in Bollywood. So are you hoping to kind of break that, be a singer, actor combined?
Acting was never in the cards for me. It just sort of happened because Zoya wanted one of my tracks for this film, and I have worked with Netflix in the past with my music. In fact, Reema directed the music video to one of my songs, which is sort of how everything came about and how everything started. So music is my first love, but I'm excited to see what this world sort of has to offer me, and it's just a boundless, endless world, and I'm excited. Yeah,
You've got
I do both.
a lot of time ahead of you to figure out which of the two or both, if you want. Since you spoke about singing being your first love, can you sing a song for us? Everybody dances to techno, maybe? Take it away.
This is for you, Reema. Okay. I like to sway to music that plays in the background. The kind you critique in a rosy boutique in a fancy house. And everybody dances to techno while I'm on my own with Bolero. I gave love a chance, but I'm sick of romance. I just want to dance.
What a powerhouse of talent. Thank you so much, Doc, for giving us a glimpse of what you're capable of. Thank you. You look a lot like the goody Miss Two Shoes in the poster that we see here. Are you like that in real life?
I'd like to think so. I mean, I think we were casted because there was so much of us that we have in our characters, and there's a lot about Betty that I see in myself as well, and I think I found that out the more I played her. I think she's very sweet and empathetic, but I think she's also sensitive sometimes. And she is really caring, but I think sometimes she can tend to put other people's needs ahead of hers. So I think I kind of identified with certain parts of her a lot, like the more I played her.
Are you a goody Miss Two Shoes? Should we ask Janvi that? Maybe she'll give us
Maybe
a
she'll have a
answer
different answer
too.
than
And I
me.
don't think she'll say you are one. How much time, and we've had 3 of you here already. We're going to have, of course, a lot more of you on stage. But I'm curious to know, how long did it really take for all of you to break the ice, for you to become a gang? Because, the Archies is all about all of them feeling that friendship. Did you really feel it in real?
No, honestly, it didn't take much time at all because we were prepping all day, every day together, and we were kind of forced to spend so much time together. And I think just going through the same experience made us bond so much. And I think especially doing acting workshops together just kind of made us open up and be vulnerable with each other. And then I think towards the end of shoot, we were just kind of moving in a small herd everywhere together.
Getting into this and this being your debut, what's the one piece of advice that you always remember, and who told you that?
I think as cliche as it sounds, the best advice I got was to just have fun. And I think everyone on set at some point has told me this because I tend to get in my own head a lot and I get nervous sometimes. But I think just being told to relax and have fun, and Zoya especially, like so many times has come up to me and said, you were meant to be Betty, just have fun and be. And I think that would just make me feel easier. Yeah.
Any lessons that you learned really from your family, from Janvi, that you feel that, helped you through this journey also?
Honestly, I think it was just having that support that made it easier for me. I don't know if they gave me any particular tips specifically, but I think just having them to talk me through things and be there for me helped a lot.
You've set social media on fire already ahead of your debut with, how you style yourself, your fashion sense. You were recently in Paris. So what's your go-to style mantra?
I don't think there are any rules in fashion. I think if you feel good in something and if you like wearing something, then you should completely just own it and wear it. I think confidence can elevate any outfit. And yeah, I think you should just do whatever makes you feel good about yourself.
Great. Thank you very much,
Thank
Khushi.
you.
All the very best
Thank
to you.
you.
Our very own Betty Cooper here, ladies and gentlemen. Are you a foodie like Jughead? Do you hate girls like Jughead?
When it comes to foodie, definitely I'm like Jughead. I think they already know I used to like hog a lot on set. But what's ironical is Jughead is a foodie, but he eats a lot of burgers and pizzas. I'm more of a healthy eater. I carry these tiffins on set with oats and fruits and my boiled eggs.
You're a salad boy.
So yeah, but I eat a lot, and I'm actually blessed that I don't know. Like people say, I'm blessed because I have a very fast metabolism, like Jughead in the comics. I don't put on weight easily, so I eat a lot, but I don't
jinx
gain
it.
weight.
Don't jinx it. Mihir, you're still young. Don't jinx it.
I really want to. I mean, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, your second question was?
I was just going to say that you conveniently avoided my second bit, which is about, do you hate girls like
No,
Jughead Jones?
No, okay, no. I think I don't hate girls, of course. I think, what should I say for this? I don't know. I mean, I'm
You can
open
say I love
to.
girls.
I love girls, okay.
You know, it's funny. I'm sure you're seeing me here and saying, look at this young boy. But in this set of seven, he's actually a veteran actor of sorts, of the seven, right? So did you feel that sense of experience kind of, did you try to boss over the others and say, hey, this is how it's done, not like that?
I mean, I've had some experience, but not a veteran for sure. No, like we were all together on set. We were helping each other. I was learning from them. I assume they were learning from me, but I was definitely. And I also enjoyed the process. Like, of course, Zoya met me on the sets of Made in Heaven season 2. And that's how she told me to audition for the Archies. But I also went through the boot camp with them, the acting workshops, and the camera workshops and everything. It was a learning process for me again. It's always good to learn again. So yeah, I mean, there was no competition on set at all. We were all together in it, and I feel uh, I just don't believe in competition, let alone on set. I think everyone comes with different values and everyone comes on board with a different skill set. So every individual has a different journey and their own path. So yeah.
What was the toughest part of this role for you, the toughest skill perhaps to learn?
So we were put through a boot camp, which was acting workshops, singing, because we are like lip syncing in the film and it's a musical. So we had to like go through proper singing classes, and then swimming sessions. I'm also playing drums in the film because Jughead was a drummer in the comics. So yeah, I am a beatboxer. I play a guitar at times. I've played a mouth organ, but drumming was something very new for me. I've tried drums in school, but this was something which I was never like very confident at. So I got drumming sessions, and I think that was a one skill set which was, I won't say toughest, but yeah, it took a little bit of time. But I mean, you will see the film now.
You know, I'll tell you something, nothing gets past me. You mentioned something very dangerous. You said you can beatbox. So now you're going to have to
Yeah.
do it for our audience here.
I'm ever ready for it. But I'll have to minus this box, sorry, for me to
Give that
beatbox.
to me. Hold on. Go for it.
Can we reduce the echo, please? Just beatbox. Hum plus beatbox, which goes like. Yeah. Since
That was sick.
I would like to do something more, since I'm on at the India Today Conclave, I would do an Indian
Please.
beat. If you would want to join, you can.
What
So
do I do?
it
I
goes
can't
like,
make sounds.
yes, this is the Indian beat. Thank you.
Wow, wow. You killed it.
It's back to its place.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. You are supremely talented, and I'm glad I got you to beatbox. Thank you so much. Jughead Jones there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely, extremely talented. Tough character, this one, Dilton. You know, he is a bit of a nerd, also very fashionable, also has secrets. So you had to weave all of that together.
I mean, Zoya always said that when she cast us, the one thing she made sure of was the fact that all of us have the essence of our character. And I think it's amazing how accurate she was with like meeting us like 4 or 5 times. I think all of us identify with our characters so much. That's what makes it so easy. I think there's so many things about Dilton that are just so true to Yuvraj.
That's very true. And you're someone who loves fashion. I can see that. You're looking amazing tonight, isn't he?
Thank you.
Who to you among the Archie's gang was really the most stylish, the most fashionable?
Oh, without a doubt, it's Veronica Lodge. I mean, even in the script, it's mentioned Veronica's the one that brings the trends and the fashion from London to Riverdale. So definitely Veronica.
We'll have Veronica here also very, very soon. I see you there. If you could bring back one thing from the 60s, what would it be now that I'm sure you've done all your research on the 60s?
So while filming, what I realized is that the core of Riverdale really is the fact that, you know, it's this small town where everyone knows each other. There's one diner that all the kids go to after school to hang out. While shooting it, it really made me nostalgic of the times when my entire day was just comprised of me coming back from school and then going down and like playing with my building friends or my brother. So I guess I would like to bring some of that wholesomeness back that I think we've lost.
How wonderful. I think we all agree also with that sentiment. Tell me, which is the one film, Yuvraj, that has inspired you the most, that you maybe have watched the most?
I don't know about inspired me the most, but definitely for watched the most. When I was younger, we didn't have like Netflix back then. So when I was younger, if I'm not in the theater watching a movie, it's just whatever's on television or something that my parents have like downloaded for me. My dad read this book, Coraline, and he downloaded the movie. It's an animated movie. He downloaded it for me. And I remember just watching it on repeat as a child. Just on repeat. So that's definitely the movie I've watched the most amount of times. But
It's a great story. Thank you very much, Yuvraj. All the very best
Thank
to
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, ladies and gentlemen. Yuvraj here, aka Dilton. Thank you. Now, if I had to describe Reggie, and going by this poster, I think everyone would say self-absorbed, little bit, a whole lot obsessed with himself. Is that the same character in the Archies also in the movie? Is there a different spin maybe that we can expect?
I mean, Reggie from the comics definitely thinks he's God's gift to humanity.
He's the it guy.
Yeah, he's the it guy. He is known for his vanity. But I think in the film, I think Zoya has, if I may say so, given more depth to the character. So, without giving away too much, I think he's very driven towards certain goals in the film, and he behind his too cool for school attitude, he has a big heart, and he'll stand up for people whenever he can. So I think that's what's different from the comics.
You look at a character like Reggie Mantle, it's, I'm sure, challenging to play also. And your journey is also very, very interesting. You're someone who studied management, you were in a management institute, and then you switched track into acting. How did that happen? Why did it happen?
Yeah, so I was pursuing business in a university here in Mumbai, and I think since I was a kid, I've always had an inclination for performing arts. So I used to sing and play the guitar before I started acting. So I would be part of these inter-college fests and these events that used to keep happening. So I used to love being on stage, love performing, and I think during college that passion for performing arts kind of translated into acting, and that happened because I joined an agency as something I'll do on the side, maybe make some quick buck while I was pursuing my degree, because the degree was really important to me and my family. And I don't think even I ever saw this or music or any of those things as something that could be a lucrative thing for me. So my degree was happening, that was the focus, and I was doing this thing on the side. And I joined this agency for my music actually, and they pushed me into acting. So when I started auditioning, I think I was around 17 or 18 years old. That's when I fell in love with it. And because I was auditioning and I wanted to understand the craft more, I think I just spent so much time learning and reading, and that's when I think I feel like I found my calling with acting.
Is there one particular film that you watched that you really loved that kind of changed your thought of, hey, I can do this?
One particular film? Oh, that's a tough one.
Or a performance, let's say a performance that made you want to become an actor.
Performance. That's a really tough question. But I remember being a young kid that I was obsessed with Ritik Roshan. in Krish. So he was like I was so fascinated firstly.
In
that
Krish?
Yes. So, I was fascinated by this superhero coming from India. And I used to have that Krish mask and everything. And I was just in love with this larger than life thing who can dance and act and look good and everything. So I think that's what inspired me, I think, as a kid. But I mean, after I grew up, I think the performance that kind of changed the game for me was Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar and also in True Detective Season 1. I think that's one of my most favorite performances. And that kind of really, pushed me into doing this, seriously.
This is a musical, right? The Archies. So how did you really change your perspective towards music, your inclination to music to get into this role?
Uh, I think music has always been a big part of my life. Um, so I think from a logistical point of view, because this film had opportunities for me to lip sync, because I sing a bit myself, I think that came a bit more naturally to me in the film. And in general, I think I use music a lot just to aid my performance. So for the film also, I had a playlist called Reggie, and I had songs which I feel like kind of resonated with me for the character, songs from the 60s. And, I would have certain songs for certain moments in the script that I would keep going back to, and, stuff like that. So it always helps me in my performance. And also, there was a lot of dancing in the film since it's a musical. So to get that body language of Reggie and that style and that, that persona and aura, I would listen to a lot of Elvis songs that John Travolta danced in, and Shammi Kapoor, and all of those things to kind of just get that, that body language and style of Reggie.
I'd ask you for a glimpse, but I don't want to give any spoilers to the audience.
Yeah, I think let's keep that for when the film comes out.
All right, Vedang, thank you very much,
Thank you so much.
for
Thank you for
joining
having
us
me.
here at the Jittery Conclave. Thank you. Where do we begin? She knows what she wants. She's very clear. She's confident. She's got the swag to beat everyone out there. So am I describing Veronica or am I describing Suhana Khan?
As much as I would like to say you're describing Suhana, I think you're describing Veronica. And I think what makes her so, I guess, magnetic and stand out is that she is unabashedly herself and she knows her worth, and that's something that I'm learning from her, and hopefully one day all of what you said can describe Suhana as well.
It'll come very, very soon, I'm sure.
I hope so.
You've done a bit of acting. You've studied acting. You've been a part of several plays, performances as well. But I'm sure it was still very daunting to be a part of a full-fledged film, to make your debut. What was the first day of set like for you, when you first stepped foot on set?
I guess all of that is still very different from being in a Netflix film and, being on a real film set as a working actor. And I think from the number of people on set to the number of lights on set and the hair and the makeup and the chaos, I feel like in the middle of it, I just felt extremely insignificant. And I guess I kind of knew that everything that everyone was doing around me was to facilitate the director's vision, to facilitate Zoya's vision. And I guess knowing that on my first day and realizing that, I felt extremely nervous and at the same time incredibly responsible. So I feel like Zoya, however, made us feel super comfortable on my first day. And I think she did this for everyone. She just held our hand through it all, and she made Riverdale feel like home from the very first day. So.
Wow. Whose feedback do you, take in these kind of circumstances when you're working? Whose feedback matters to you? Who's your biggest critic?
I wouldn't say biggest critic, but I think my biggest source of guidance are my parents and actually my entire family. I feel like we all chip in and help each other out.
So you go back to them after every day on the set and
definitely.
kind of relate
I'm
to
like,
them what's
"Mom,
happening.
was that okay? Is my hair okay? Is my outfit okay?" So
I think your mom may be watching and approving it right now, so
yeah,
don't worry.
I hope so.
And also, finally, you're from Mumbai. Shout out to that. what do you love the most about your city, about Mumbai? Is it the food, the people? What do you love?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here, I went to school here, and now I'm working here. And I'm also addicted to vada pav, so that's my
Same.
favorite thing about
Same.
Mumbai.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you so
Suhana.
much.
Congratulations. A big round of applause.